Hey, Leah here. I wanted to do a quick video because I get a common question about food sensitivities. If you have been following me for some time, you know that I am a huge advocate for eating the right type of food for how you want to feel, what works for your body, and really ultimately what your body can digest, because what I eat may be completely different from the way you eat and what your body wants and craves. Okay, so first, the first question I have to answer is, what's the difference between a food sensitivity and a food allergy? A food sensitivity does not always happen right away, which can make it harder when you're trying to figure out what your body may or may not digest well. A food allergy usually happens right away, and it is usually life-threatening, whereas a food sensitivity does not have any, it's not gonna harm your life. Like, you cannot die from a food sensitivity, but your body can suffer. You can have really bad bloating, you can be really gassy, you can have really achy joints, you can have skin rashes, eczema, acne. You can sometimes just really have poor sleep, poor health in general. So it's kind of funny, like there's this really long list of what can happen from food sensitivities. But once you figure out what yours are, you guys, it's so freeing. There are so many people that are living on these yo-yo diets. You find something that you think works for you, you count calories, you count your macros or whatever it is, and then you're like, cool, I think I got it. I lost like 30 pounds, I'm good. And then the diet stops and you're maybe back to where you were like a month later. It's not fun, it's not long and sustainable, but once you find out really what works for you, it's so nice, it's so freeing, and that's what I want to help people with. So here are the steps. If this is something that speaks to you as you're watching this and you're kind of like, okay, maybe this is something that I'm a little bit interested in learning more. Here's where I would tell you where to start. So number one, if you want to stop the yo-yo dieting, I suggest you start with a food journal. You could do 5 days, you could do 10 days, whatever you want, and start marking down what you eat every single day. I know it sounds kind of maybe annoying to do, to write down what you're eating day in and day out, but trust me, in this process, you guys, it's gonna be so helpful. Write down everything you eat. From that like initial time eating, maybe like you just ate a sandwich and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel bloated. And then that night you're like, gosh, I can't sleep. Those might be triggers, and even the next day, if you wake up and you're like, ooh, what did I eat yesterday? Those might be triggers that gluten is a sensitivity for you. But I suggest keeping it in a journal so that you can look back on it and be like, oh, I see the common occurrence when I eat a sandwich with bread. It may not be the bread, it may be something else that you're eating in that sandwich. It could be dairy or eggs, I don't, like in mayo or something like that. But that's the first step. On that note, let me just really fast tell you the 5 most common food sensitivities. Number 1 is dairy. Number 2, almonds, which dairy and almonds were my highest. Brewer's yeast, can never say it right. Yogurt, which is kind of goes back to like the dairy, and eggs. Another common one is gluten. It's not necessarily the gluten, it might be more what the gluten is sprayed with these days, but it's hard to tell. So, but okay, I got off sidetracked there. So once you do the food journal, the next step is you can talk to me. I have an elimination diet plan that I take my clients through, and we really assess what it is that works for you or doesn't work for you. And we take 28 days and we learn about how to educate yourself with different food practices, and why we don't count calories and why we look at certain ingredients. We really learn all about food and what's working for you and what may not be working for you. At the end of the 28 days, we start to add food back in using the food journal again, and we see how our body reacts after not having a certain food. You'll be amazed at what your body will tell you. Your body is always speaking to you. It's just a matter of whether or not you're listening to it. That's the key. And then after that elimination diet, you can kind of learn like, oh, I can't eat dairy. What are my other options? And we would work together, or you would find out on your own, whatever you would choose. Okay, I need a little bit of help. I can't eat dairy. How can I make this a lifestyle so that I can continue on living, not feeling so bogged down with whatever is going in, whatever is going in my body. That would be kind of the final step. So yeah, the difference between a food sensitivity and a food allergy really is based on food sensitivity. How are you going to feel? Allergy, life-threatening. You cannot eat it still, obviously, but the food sensitivity does not kill you. That's it. I hope you found that helpful. And if there are any questions, please let me know. I'm so grateful to have found out what my personal food sensitivities are. I don't count calories. I eat what I want within the parameters of what works for me. So if I want a donut or I want a brownie, I just have it without the dairy, and I keep it cut back on the gluten. So I hope you find what helps you, because you guys, it's so freeing, and it is a wonderful feeling to not feel restricted by the foods you eat. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.